Some movies entertain you, others completely change the way films are made. The Thing, 1982, did both. More than 4 decades later, its practical effects continue to inspire filmmakers around the world. Almost every terrifying moment you see in the movie, the monsters, the transformations, the explosions, and even the frozen world, were brought to life using practical effects decades ahead of their time. So today, we're taking you behind the scenes to explore the incredible craftsmanship that brought this horror masterpiece to life. In the film's climactic finale, Macready finally reaches the underground tunnel, where he comes face-to-face with Blair's horrifying mutated form as it slowly begins absorbing Gary into its massive body. Macready then throws a bundle of dynamite at the creature, blowing up the entire underground lair. For these scenes, the production team built a full-scale underground ice cave and tunnel set inside the studio, allowing the actors to perform in a real environment. The giant Blair thing was a massive practical animatronic created by Bottin and his team using foam latex, rubber, hydraulics, and mechanical parts. Hidden crew members operated its tentacles and body movements, bringing the creature to life on camera. However, not every shot in the climax was filmed on the life-sized life set. For several wide shots and destruction sequences, the filmmakers built highly detailed miniature models of the underground tunnels and generator room. These miniatures were carefully lit and photographed to perfectly match the full-scale set. The team also experimented with stop-motion animation for a few creature shots, but director Jhon Carpenter felt the movement wasn't convincing enough, so only a very small portion of it remained in the final film. When Macready throws the dynamite, his close-up shots were filmed separately, while the massive explosion itself was created using real, practical pyrotechnics rigged throughout the set. Since the set could only be destroyed once, multiple cameras were rolling simultaneously to capture every angle in a single take. It's this incredible combination of giant animatronics, miniature models, practical explosions, and old-school craftsmanship that continues to make The Thing's climax one of the greatest practical effects sequences in horror film history. The movie opens with a giant saucer-shaped alien spacecraft silently traveling through space before heading towards Earth. Surprisingly, this iconic sequence was created without any digital CGI. Instead, it relied entirely on motion control miniature photography and classic optical effects. This sequence was supervised by visual effects expert Peter Curran, who had previously worked on the original Star Wars, along with his team at Visual Concept Engineering. To create the spacecraft, they built a highly detailed miniature flying saucer covered with intricate metallic paneling and thruster details. The model was mounted inside a dark studio environment where carefully positioned lights were used to capture its metallic surface and create a realistic sense of depth. To achieve the UFO's smooth flight through space, the team used a motion control camera system. A handheld camera would have introduced unwanted vibrations, so instead, a computer-guided camera rig followed a precisely programmed path while filming in slow motion. This allowed every movement to appear perfectly smooth and cinematic. The vast space background and the view of Earth were created using traditional hand-painted matte paintings and glass artwork. Small light sources placed behind the artwork simulated distant stars and the glowing haze of space. This clever blend of miniature photography, motion control cinematography, matte paintings, and optical compositing gave the film its unforgettable opening. One of the biggest reasons The Thing still feels so believable is its brutally realistic frozen environment. But surprisingly, the filmmakers didn't shoot the movie in Antarctica. Filming there would have been incredibly dangerous, expensive, and nearly impossible for a production of that scale. Instead, director Jhon Carpenter chose Stewart, British Columbia, Canada, a small mining town near the Alaska border surrounded by isolated mountains and harsh winter conditions. The production team actually constructed the entire American Outpost 31 set during the summer months. Then, once winter arrived and the region was buried under heavy snowfall and powerful blizzards, the cast and crew returned to film the exterior scenes in real sub-zero temperatures. The helicopter flyovers, the dog chase, and the outdoor base sequences were all captured in genuine Canadian wilderness. Because the actors were performing in actual freezing weather, their visible breath, footprints in the snow, and reactions to the icy winds were completely authentic, giving the film a level of realism that would have been almost impossible to fake. One of the main reasons The Thing is still considered one of the greatest practical effects films ever made is its unforgettable collection of mutated creatures. Every horrifying transformation was designed by special effects master Rob Bottin and his incredibly talented team. Instead of creating ordinary movie monsters, Bottin imagined the alien as a living organism with no fixed form, one that could instantly absorb and merge with human or animal DNA, creating grotesque biological mutations unlike anything audiences had ever seen before. That extraordinary dedication is exactly why these practical effects continue to impress filmmakers and horror fans more than 4 decades later. And that's all for today's behind-the-scenes breakdown of The Thing 1982. If you enjoyed discovering how these legendary practical effects were brought to life, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next movie-making deep dive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.